Hello, and welcome once again to today's edition of Welcome to Dee's Delicious Dishes. We'll be cooking a meal today along with Dee, who says hello.
Hello.
And she'll be telling us what we're doing and how we begin. Take it away, Dee.
We're starting off with a deep cast iron pan. Put a little bit of vegetable oil at the bottom so that we can brown down our turkey. As you know, turkey is very lean meat, so we need to give it a little bit of oil so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan.
Okay, now does it matter where, what type turkey? It's just any type of ground turkey that you're using there?
Well, right now we're using 80-20, 85% turkey, ground turkey.
Okay.
So that does have a little bit of oil in it, but as you know, turkey is a very lean meat.
And being lean, I guess it has a tendency to be a little dry because it has less fat.
That is correct.
Now, this meal can also be prepared using other meats, correct?
I've done it also with chopped meat. And if you like, you can use chicken.
Oh, okay.
But today we're using turkey.
Okay,
we're
now,
just going to brown that down. And we're going to add chopped onions and red and orange peppers for flavor. They're a little bit sweeter than the green pepper to give it a lot of flavor.
so now, is this any particular type turkey chili? It's just a regular turkey chili, or is it?
No, we're going to do a Southwestern turkey chili.
Okay.
We're going to add black beans and I believe some corn and some other beans, pinto beans and some white beans to give it a little color.
Oh, that sounds good.
And while the turkey is cooking down, of course, you can add your seasoning, some salt, a little pepper, garlic. I have some chopped up onions, some peppers, and we'll have that all cooked down together. And we'll add as we go along.
Oh, okay. And you also said that you can do this with beef or ground chicken.
That is correct.
In the past, when I've done it, I've used actually cut chicken into cubes, like chicken breasts.
That's a really good one. Chunky style.
Exactly. And that seemed to go over well with my family as well. So while this is browning down, we're going to go take care of some other things here in the kitchen, and we'll be right back. Hello and welcome back. As you can see, our turkey is nice and browned down now. And take it away, Dee.
Okay, I would like to add my chopped onions, and I have red and orange sweet peppers to add to the mix as that cooks down, and then we'll start adding tomatoes and some sauces. We'll have some chili powder and salt, pepper, and other ingredients that will make it very special.
Okay, and pretty much whatever you feel you want to add as your own seasonings to make it your own, because that's the thing we stress to all our patrons and followers. If you want to make it your own, feel free. We're just kind of trying to give you the basics so you'll have, somewhat of a recipe to go on. We used about, say 2 pounds?
2 pounds of turkey,
okay.
Ground turkey, and this should feed between 4 to 6 people.
Yeah, okay. And that's probably pretty generous portions.
Yeah, because we usually serve this over a little rice.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you want to show them your chopped veggies there?
Okay, this is onions.
Bring them down a little more.
Onions and peppers.
Okay.
And onions. And we just sprinkle that all the way through.
Now that's going to be good.
And let that cook down some. And that's going to give it the flavor that you want. And then we're going to add some garlic. And we're going to let this simmer down some so that the onions and peppers can become a little soft and translucent. before we add any more of the tomatoes. We're going to add crushed tomatoes, a little tomato paste, some chili powder, and again you season it to taste with salt and black pepper.
Okay, now you do all of that prior to adding the beans. You'll be adding in the tomato sauces and what have you.
Yes, because as you add, the seasoning changes. So you put a little bit now, and then you add your tomatoes. Tomatoes have a little sweeter taste, which cuts down the salt. So as you taste, you don't want to overdo it. So you just add a little bit at a time at each layer that you add.
Okay. Now, as you can see, this is simmering. It looks delicious. And, as you're cooking, you can do little taste tests, to check out your seasonings, to see if they're to your liking. And again, we stress that you season to your taste. We're just trying to give you a basic setup so that you have a little recipe to follow. Okay, now we're at the next step, which is?
We're adding chili to the meat. Again, you add to your liking. I'm going to stir this up and give it a little taste to see just how spicy it is.
So that's just a basic chili powder, right?
Just chili right now.
Okay.
We can add a little cayenne, which gives it another source of heat. Depends on how spicy you like your chili.
And now if you're being a little budget conscious and you say don't have cayenne in the house, can you substitute a hot sauce or something to that effect?
Any kind of hot sauce that you like. If you have a regular hot sauce, whether it be Red Devil or whatever, if you have Tabasco sauce, any kind of heat would help out.
Okay. And by heat, of course, you mean spicy. Okay.
To me, that could use a little bit more heat, because as you know, we're going to add a lot of liquid, which will dilute.
Okay, now would you say a palm full or two, or what do you think?
I'd say 2 palms full for the size that we're working with. We're working with 2 pounds of meat, so you want the spices to get all the way through.
Okay, and you want to let our followers know by palm full, we literally mean using the palm
of your hand, and it's not a full palm.
We can't see that.
It's just a palm right here, and a palm right there. I'm old school, sorry. I sprinkled just to look at it, and but it is approximately a palmful.
Right. Which, remember, we're home cooks, so a lot of times we have a tendency to eyeball the seasoning, as opposed to pouring it in a measuring cup or measuring spoons or what have you. But feel free, if that's your method, feel free to do that. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and we've got the turkey all simmered down and everything, and I'm going to turn it over to Dee.
Okay, the next step, we're adding some crushed tomatoes, a can, large can, and we're going to have that simmer down into the turkey. Mix that up. Again, we let each level simmer down so that it can get all the flavors. I'm going to let this cook down for about 10 minutes or so before I add the next level, which would be the beans.
Okay, now you're just using the one can of crushed tomatoes there, or are you going to use more than one? How?
We have 1 can of tomatoes, because we like our chili a little bit thick. By the time we add the beans, I know a lot of people don't use the juice from off the can because we're using canned beans today. We'll have enough liquid. If not, we can add some, you never know, some chicken stock will help it give it a little bit more juice. But if you like it on the thick side, we could leave it like this. It depends on what you like.
And of course, we like it on the thick side. Now, when you're adding your beans, do you let these tomatoes cook down a little bit, or?
Yes, we're gonna. That's what I said. We're gonna let this simmer down a little bit, about 10 minutes or so before we add the beans.
Okay.
And even though beans in the can are pretty much cooked, I like to cook them down a little bit more as well.
Right.
So this chili will be on for another hour or so.
Okay. Now, personally, sometimes, because sometimes I use the canned beans as we're doing today, but sometimes I'll soak my dry beans overnight and use those as well. But you can use, I guess, whatever type beans you like, whether it be kidney beans or the white beans, whatever type beans you like. If you're vegetarian, you can use vegetarian type beans. It's up to you. It's whatever type beans you prefer, whatever you prefer to put in, it's up to you. Okay, and welcome back once again. We're ready for the next stage. Oh, and that's looking really, really good.
Okay, the next stage is that we're going to add our beans. Now we're adding 3 different types of beans. We're adding white beans, and we're adding black beans, and we're adding, I believe these are pinto beans. And again, we're adding it with the sauce.
You can use any brand of beans. You don't have to use any particular brand name.
And that's our black beans.
That's unless, of course, any of the particular brands want to endorse us. Then, of course, we'll just use whatever they say.
And then last but not least, our pink beans.
So this is a 3-bean chili. Oh, it looks wonderful.
And we're going to let that cook down for about a half an hour. And let that marinate into our already marinated turkey with onions and peppers and crushed tomatoes. And once that, I'm going to let it boil up a little bit so that all the flavors can meld together. I'll taste it and see if we need a little bit more of either more heat or a little bit more salt.
Now, if you're wondering why you always see just the pot or just the dish itself, we feel that's the most important thing. We're not essential to your recipe, so that's why we use close-up taping so that you can actually see what the dish is supposed to look like. You can see that we add the different ingredients, but we want you to get the full effect of the recipe itself. So you'll seldom see us in the kitchen. So now you're going to cover that down?
Cover it down and bring it back up to a slow simmer and let that stay on for about a half an hour.
Sounds good. Back in a flash. Oh yeah, that's looking real good. Next step?
Next step is we're going to add some tomato paste to give it a little thickness and a little more flavor. That's going to cook down.
Okay, now when you add the tomato paste, is that enough liquid in the pot, or do you have to add a little water to that? Or?
No, because we're looking for a thickness. We want it to be thick.
Okay.
If you'd like, you can, again, it's all to your liking. If you wanted a little more soupy, rather than thickness, then you can add, a little water. For our taste, we're looking for a thick, rich.
Ah, yes.
We want just to go over our rice and stick to it. So that's going to take a minute to get it all together. Oh yeah, that's going to be delicious.
Our website is www.facebook.com/Dee'sDeliciousDishes. Our Gmail, Dee'sDeliciousDishes@gmail.com. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post on our site, or you can also send us an email and we will respond. If you have any questions as to ingredients, anything you'd like to know, just shoot us an email, or as I said, you can post under the dish. We welcome your comments. You know, we're here for you. And as you can see, this was all done in one pot. So if you have a really nice sized pot, stainless steel, or this particular pot is great for everything. You can fry in it, you can brown your beef or your chicken, whatever it is. You can brown in it, and you can cook any kind of a meal in it. So it's great for that. We'll be back in a moment. Okay, we're back, and we're about to add what makes this the southwestern part of our chili. It's already simmered down with the tomato paste. And take it away, Dee.
We're adding a blend that I found in the supermarket, which is a Southwestern blend, which is black beans, corn, and sweet peppers. We're just going to add that to it.
We need to see what, oh yeah, we can see what you're adding there. That looks great. Okay.
Just mix that all in. And I think we have pretty much every vegetable covered.
Now again, if you don't want to do the southwestern, you can leave that step out. But I assure you, it will taste delicious if you add it. And then we're going to let that pot simmer down a little bit more, right?
Yes, we will. Another 10-15 minutes, and we're good to go.
Sounds good to me. And then we'll be ready for the plate, the fork, the dinner table. Maybe grab ourselves a bottle of wine and go for it. We'll also probably make up some cornbread or some type of a bread, or you can have it over rice. However you prefer to eat your chili, it will be delicious. We thank you for joining us today here at Dee's Delicious Dishes Kitchen, and we hope that you will join us again. For now, we bid you adieu. Have a happy night.